Hey, hello, today we're in Springfield, Massachusetts, and we're at the corner of Hancock Street and Union Street in front of the St. John's Congregational Church. And we're going to tell you a lot of its wonderful properties. This is a very popular church within Springfield. It was made to be an African American church. They wanted to have a nice church for themselves, and they grew and grew through the years. Now, the congregation itself formed in 1889. The church was elsewhere, not in this area. They have simpler churches in other places. But they built this one up in 1911. So this church is about 113 years old this year. All right, inside it does have an organ. You can see the architectural style on the outside is fairly nice. It's Gothic. And then you can tell by the upward beams on the porch, and you can tell definitely by the tower that it's English Gothic architectural style, Gothic revival style. And it does have some stained glass, front, side, so forth. Now, this church itself is very popular, but even more popular and more useful, there was a building right behind us, right, which is called St. John's William N. DeBerry Education Center. The pastor of St. John's from 1899 to 1930, 31 years, was William DeBerry. And I have a picture of him attached to my website so you can read more about his life. Now, this back building was three things through the years, and I'll tell you what those three things were. First of all was the parsonage, right? And that means where the parson would live. It was made in 1913 by William DeBerry. Another thing it was also St. John's Parish Home for working girls, African American girls that are women that had trouble when they're very young getting enough money to have both a job to support themselves, of rent and food, would come live here, and they'd have about maybe 15, 18 young girls live here. All right, a third thing that it was also the parish social hall, right? And that was very important. Now, it's named after that first pastor, which is wonderful. This building, I hope they preserve it very well. I wonder if it doesn't have the same function. It's called Education Center, so maybe it does have some of the same functions it used to have. Now, the St. John's Congregational Church has moved across Union Street, and they made a much bigger building for themselves. And that's wonderful. This is a gorgeous building. You can see the congregation must be enormous, and they have probably a social hall attached at some point. So they are playing with a lot of money, which is nice to see, because this was always the most popular African American church in Springfield, Massachusetts. And Springfield, Massachusetts was the center of abolitionism within Massachusetts. All right, so we've seen quite a lot, but one thing that I want to try to find out is supposedly, go back to the church now, supposedly along one of the sides of the church, the Hancock side, there was stained glass windows of John Brown. He's the abolitionist, and he lived about 4 years in Springfield, Massachusetts. So these 8 windows, I don't know if they're still there. I peeked around, I didn't think I saw them, but they must be wonderful. And then there's one more for a woman that was an educator around the area. All right, so we'll look upwards and downwards on this, and then take the camera around the front, and then the side has a nice porch, and then the back has a cross on it. Okay, and before I leave, I'll do a panoramic for you. Okay, now go off now and see what I can find for you out towards the front of this wonderful building. Okay, so we see some of the stained glass windows here. And you can see that this building itself, since St. John moved across the street, this building has become Iglesia Pentecostal de Avivamiento La Última Cosecha. Okay, I don't see any stained glass on John Brown, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check their website and see what happened to them. I think they probably took them out. Maybe they were too precious. Maybe they moved them to their modern church. Who knows? All right, so I thank you for coming here.